Hi everyone, and welcome once again to TFT Tarot for Today, Divine Dabblings with Oberon and Banshee. This is me, Oberon, with Goth Tarot, my weekly look into shadow issues of our lives and how we can better deal with them. And of course, last week Banshee guest starred with me, and we began a segment for the shadow work considering betrayal. And we're going to start off with a meditation from the Oracle of the Hecatean Path. I like to use that here. And our opening card is Strength. Liana, the Lioness. That's beautiful. It's almost like strength in the tarot. Liana, the Lioness. Strength. Hecate cultivates independence and self-empowerment. Lions are noble, strong, and fierce protectors, and Hecate's association with them comes from the Chaldean oracles, where Hecate is not only described as being lion-possessing, but that if you call upon me often, you will perceive everything in lion form. She knows you have the strength in you. She gives you the tools, but expects you to pick them up and put them to good use, even if that means learning how. Tap into the strength of Hecate and rise. And we are working with the Rise of the Soul's Oracle card, the Betrayal. I trust the outside world. That's sort of the shadow speaking to you about that. When we summed it up, betrayal makes us so hurt that we decide we can never trust anyone, and we respond to almost anything in a highly superstitious manner, and we spoil and destroy relationships with ourselves and others. I'm reading again from the supplement section. I lock you away in a prison in which other people can only be perceived as bad. So there is no point in trusting them or revealing yourself. You take no risk of honest and authentic sharing, of being moved, impressed, or enchanted. You manipulate out of self-protection, which gives you a feeling of complete power and helps you pacify your narcissistic faults. It may hurt other people, but you would tell yourself that they're looking to do the same to you, and you might as well strike first. And I have to say that I do personally relate to some of that, having some of these issues at an earlier point in my life. It does get hard to trust again, and sometimes you have to find your own unique way back there. We're going to use the Erethereal Shadow Work Tarot right now, and we're going to do an update. We're going to use the cards to determine, are we actually beginning our progress here? And of course, we did just start. So here we go again. So what's our update? It's the Page of Wands. And the Page of Wands could be saying that we are updating well. We may be trying to get ahead a little bit, and maybe focus on keeping a diary or some sort of written things. Maybe there's a way of communicating. The Page of Wands can also be saying that there's just a sense of beginning progress here, but that it is a good one. There's good sense of beginning here. There's not necessarily a correlation to moving ahead, but we'll see. So I think with that, I want to finally use the moving forward section. And this is advisory, but I think it's good, especially considering the Page of Wands. Communicate with people about whom you have doubts. Expressing your feelings by explaining that you need to be reassured or given information on a situation. Write down all your suspicions regarding a particular person or situation, then ask yourself whether these suspicions are based on fact or are only assumptions. If it's the latter, replace those assumptions with positive affirmations or questions you'd like to ask. Think about what you can do each week to help calm your mind. Unwind and take some time for yourself. The more you focus on positive thoughts, the more you'll create a positive relationship with this shadow. All right, so you can see there were some ideas there about communication with this, moving forward. And of course, we pulled the Page of Wands. So that's very interesting, of course. But now we want to move on from there. And to do that, I'm going to focus on something else. I'm going to use some other decks to focus. This is week 2, so what I like to do is focus on what some of the other possibilities are that are, I guess you would say, in the way. Week 2 really sort of shows us where we try to find excuses. And so that first one I would consider to be the dark detour. And the dark detour is literally a way we use to distract ourselves and say we can't do this. What is our excuse for distraction, or what is it that actually we can manifest somehow to be a distraction? So I'm going to use the Midnight Boulevard. And this is basically to not deal with the ideas about most shadow work, but specifically the sense of betrayal that we're talking about. The idea that we're making ourselves sort of hardened and suspicious about everything, and that if we're called upon it, what is our excuse? Or even if we're not called upon it, and we know this about ourselves, what are we doing to excuse or to put off working with the shadow of betrayal? It's the Seven of Cups. And the Seven of Cups says we have so many other things we have to focus on. We literally have just too much. I think I'll put you there. And so the diversion or detour caused by the Seven of Cups says, look, there's a bird. We will literally use almost everything around us to be some sort of way of being too busy or too many possibilities for us to focus specifically on how we're hurting ourselves by not learning how to trust others and by feeling that we're always being betrayed and locking ourselves up in that. All right, so the dark twist. Our next set will be the dark twist. And the dark twist is really a legitimate, unexpected action, an actor or factor that interferes. And we could say, perhaps because of the nature of things, that in some way we may be attracting this to ourselves, that our particular set of energies create this kind of negative vortex for ourselves. And the dark twist could be nature's way of trying to fight back in a way, but not necessarily in a way without bad consequences. It may be chaos. The dark twist could be a chaotic factor. It's the Five of Wands. It's upright. Well, Five of Wands often talks about things that bring us into, a sense of competition, possibly conflict with other people. There may be a way that sometimes this is purposeful and could align us to collaborate and work on some things that are specific, perhaps, to success or to navigating relationships or situations. And especially if we're, not maybe especially, but if we are dealing with a situation about what betrayal has done with us without letting, which is not letting us establish healthy partnerships or relationships with people, this really does speak to that the dark twist is that maybe we could find ourselves really having to do this. I won't say forced to do this, though maybe that's a possibility that a particular situation forces us or compels us to have to work with people that we have all these suspicious feelings about, or that we find it really hard to have an honest partner kind of relationship with. This could be an interesting week in terms of working on this issue. Okay, so the next card is also part of this whole process. It's what I call the dark spiral. And maybe when we're looking at the effects of what the twists are, and then the overall feeling of, I hate being betrayed and I'm never going to let myself open up again, we become drained from all this. So this is the dark spiral. What is that one piece of behavior, or what is that one thing that's going on that is going to be the key draining agent for this week, the key spiral? What event or thought happening victimizes you? Maybe it's a realization of something and it creates a very bad power dynamic for you for some reason. I'm using the Vampire Tarot because it is more or less like a vampiric attack. But it's more likely than not that this is your own self-act, unless I can see otherwise, because I think it concerns the betrayal. So what is that final blow to you? It's the Four of Swords. And the Four of Swords is reversed, which actually is pretty interesting. Are you finding a way to empower yourself to this is about revival and recovery. Are you empowering yourself through victimhood or martyrhood of some sort by the sense of having this persona around you of being betrayed? These other cards, it creates an idea of your own victimhood in a sense, and therefore martyrdom. And so you are draining the energy, perhaps, of others. This is how you are the psychic vampire. It's not you that are being victimized. You are using this situation to drain from people emotionally or spiritually. You may not even realize it, but it's happening there. And you divert yourself from the serious work here because you refuse to see it. You only see these other things going on in your life. It's sort of like a huge sense of denial that you've been able to create. That's that Seven of Cups there. So that's like a big wow. I'll have to just put it that way. Hopefully this gives you some idea of where you really do need to work on what's going on with your sense of betrayal and how it limits you, but yet it's also kind of self-perpetuating if you think about that. I'm going to close now with a reading and meditation from the Cosmic Crossroads Oracle. All right, for the next meditation, you will need a piece of paper and a pen to write down, or you'll just need to be able to take a few notes when we get to the end of the meditation. All right, thank you. It's number 3, change. There are times of stillness and times of movement within each of our lives. And the transition between those spaces can sometimes be unsettling. It is not within the nature of humanity to stay in one state of being for too long. Though we may be inclined to do so for our safety and comfort. As this life is one of constant transformation and change, we will always find ourselves once again at the junction of both an end and a beginning. It is the cyclical truth of this physical realm. It might be time to try again to take that leap of faith at the precipice into your new beginning. Know that if you have been through a time of trouble and pain, it is okay to move forward into the realm of possibilities. It is okay to try again, even if you still feel connected to what was. Even if you are being told that you are not ready, there is no set schedule that you must follow, as life is but a great journey, one that always leads us home. Now take a few deep breaths and center yourself within your being. Write down how you feel moved, called to move forward during this period of transition. Describe tangible steps you will take to start your new beginning. Close your eyes and envision yourself taking these steps, letting the feelings of gratitude and joy wash over you. Place this note in a sacred place to honor your commitment to the new beginning. Affirmation. I know the way to go. I know when I'm ready to move forward. It is good to move forward when I am ready. I do not have to take a big step, only the step that aligns with me. The universe supports me now in my journey. I am held as I venture forth once again. All right. I thank you for listening to that. I hope you got something out of it. I think it does pertain to what's going on with working on betrayal. So I'm going to take a moment now to tell you about our following shows for the week. Tomorrow will be a live show from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Time, our live stream where we will answer any question. So get there early. We do tend to either be very busy or not very busy, and so we might end. Friday morning is my emotional exchanges, which is a short reading for each sign of the zodiac about love and relationships. Saturday will be happy hour later in the day at 4 p.m. There's a schedule change for me somewhere else, so we're switching happy hour to 4 p.m. And then on Sunday will be our regular show, Banshee's show. The Material Matters is at 10 a.m. And that's her zodiac reading for business, finance, and education. And then our live stream will be next Sunday afternoon from 2 to 4 p.m., our regular live stream like the one on Thursday. So thank you, everybody, and we'll see you soon.